Hey, so I get asked a lot of questions about different things that have happened in my life from people. And as I was sitting here thinking about those questions and how I would respond to them and how I have responded to them, I said, let me make a video. I almost went Facebook Live, but I didn't want to just ramble on Facebook Live, quite frankly. So one question that I get asked a lot is how was I chosen to be in Insanity Max 30? And that's like a loaded question, right? Because, so here's the thing. So when the ad came out on Facebook, and it was on Facebook, so there was no favoritism or you're a coach or whatever, right? In my life, it was like I saw an ad on Facebook and I sent in an email. And so I submitted the email, but the thing about it is that the ad had certain requirements. And it listed on those requirements, and I wish I saved it. I really, truly wish I saved it because I honestly don't remember exactly what they were, and it doesn't really matter exactly what they were, but here's the thing. There were certain requirements about it. Like maybe it said you had to be like in the best shape of your life and that you had to be between a certain age group and be available to shoot the videos for a period of time. And I think there was one more thing. And I remember looking at the ad and being like, nope, nope, nope. Like, you are none of those things. Well, probably after the age, right? That was probably the only thing I believed that I was qualified for to submit my name. But something said, submit your application, submit your name into the hat or whatever, you know? And so I did it. I sent in my email and I was given a time and a date to come and show up for the casting call. And I don't know anything about this casting call thing or this act. Like, I imagine that's what actors do. But I was pretty well brought up to speed when I got there, kind of about like what at least I think actors and actresses and people kind of go through when they get to this like casting call situation. And so when I got there, I took a photo in my, workout clothes because that's how I showed up. And how everybody showed up for the most part. But I looked around at the other, I don't know, I mean, there were a lot of people there. I looked around and I was like, holy cow. Like, there are some really beautiful people who look incredibly fit. And, why am I even here? But you know what? I'm here and I'm going to do this. And so I thank God my husband came with me to support me emotionally on this, this journey that I said, I was going to do. And so I had taken the day off from work, a personal day, and I went in, and it was in the city. And so what happened, so once, everybody got numbers, we were all assigned numbers, and my number was called. And then I went into a separate room with another group of people whose numbers were also called. And when we got into the room, there was, the producers and Shanti was there and some other people who at the time I didn't know all of them. I had seen some of them and I was familiar with them from other programs and other stages in my life over the course of the years. But I didn't know like why they were there or you know what I mean? Like I just went in and we later were told that we were going to do a portion of some moves. And so, I don't know if you can hear that, those are my kids. And so, we did this combination of moves and he showed us the moves and he was like, okay, basically like go. And then, right, this is all my memory. This was like 2 years ago now. And because it's like a blur in some way. So I did the moves and I remember thinking to myself, oh my goodness, like I'm going to have a heart attack. Like I am absolutely going to have a heart attack. Like it felt like it was like an hour, but I think it was like 2 minutes of a series of moves. And the one thing I remember Sean saying is that, form is important. And so just, do the best you can. And in my mind, I was like, okay, that's what he said. That's what I'm going to do. So if the form was key, I was just going to like stay in my lane and like, do the correct form and just, do it. And so I think music went on, but here's what I remember. We were in like a dance studio rehearsal area space kind of thing. So there were these big wall mirrors and there were all these people lined up with numbers. And so it was like go. And then I just remember hearing like noise and like seeing people go nuts around me. And to be honest, I could have been going nuts and like making like crazy noises. But in my mind, everything kind of like stood still. And I just felt like I was focused on doing the things right, like doing the moves, like staying in my lane, staying in my speed, and not worrying about what was going on around me. So the next thing you know, we were, okay, thank you very much. And we went out. And then it was kind of like a second call back in with different groups of people for various times during that day, I think. And so I get called back in the room and it was like, boom, do something else, do it again. But not the same moves, like different moves, I think. And so we went back in, we did some different moves. And I was like, oh, this is so hard. Oh my God, this is tough. Like, why am I even here? I'm not even the fittest person. Like, I can barely do these moves. Like, are you kidding me? Why did I even do this, right? And so we were dismissed, and there were some friends that were there that I had met being a coach and along this Beachbody journey that I love dearly. And so I know they were also believers. And so I said, guys, can we just take a minute before we leave and go into this other room and can we just pray? And so we went into the other room and we prayed. And one of the things that we prayed for was, listen, God, if this is something that you have for me, for us, that you make a way. Because on paper and on the surface, there were things that just like we couldn't do on our own. Like I almost passed out, I feel like it was hard, And I was like, my life, where I am in my life, where I am in my career, where I am in every stage of my walk in my life. And so if this is something that is supposed to happen, you will make it happen. And so fast forward to that night, I was asked to come back in. I don't know who else was, but I got an email to come back in. So I go back in the next day. And it was that day that we learned that we were selected to be in the cast. And I just remember crying, like I'm probably going to cry now. I'm going to try not to. But I just remember crying because that moment wasn't about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was God saying to me, like, I got you. Like, you may not have fit those qualifications on paper, but that's not what this is about. You will be qualified because I'm going to qualify you. You don't have to be qualified before the casting call, right? Before you get called in for this part, because I'm going to qualify you. And so I just broke down and just started crying and thinking about like, wow, like really just so grateful. And, I'd lost quite a bit, leading up until that point through other Beachbody programs and Insanity. And I was blessed to be in a 10-minute trainer infomercial because of a transformation with that as well. And so, along that journey, my look has changed, everything has changed. And so I remember going up to Sean and saying, I don't know if you remember me, but this was me. And I showed him a picture of us. I had randomly ran into him at the American Airlines terminal in New York City. And I was just starting my journey. And I said, I don't know if you remember me, but this was me. I am that girl. And he was like, oh my God, like, I remember you. And I didn't, like, it was at that moment, like, during that whole process, he didn't know who I was. He didn't know that I was that girl that he met that, 4 years prior to that casting call. And he was like, wow, And then I remember someone else saying to me, like, I don't know who you are, but you were supposed to be here. People wanted you here. And I was so humbled by that. And the reason why I was so humbled by it is because I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't think I was qualified to be in the videos because I didn't look fit. I didn't feel fit. I didn't believe that was me. But here's what I believed. I knew that there were people on those videos who had changed my life. Like, I was going through weight loss, struggles and, time constraints and, different things that I was going through. And those videos for the past 4 years prior to that had been a place where I could go, and that would be my time, and that would be the time where someone on there was inspiring me to work out, to push play, to eat right, to drink my shakes, and to do what I was supposed to do for me, for my own health journey. And so I believed so strongly in that because I believed that if I could be that person or one person in those videos who could inspire someone to make a change, then that was like I couldn't ask for anything else. And so it was at that moment that I was like, oh my God, you did this. You did this. And I don't even know how the rest of it is going to play out because, I just didn't at that time, but I was just open. I was like, you know what? If this is the path that you are setting out for me, then I am going to just walk. I am going to just step. And I'm going to have faith that this is something that I'm supposed to do. And I'm just going to go and I'm going to do it every single day. And I'm just going to follow you. And that's what I did. So I don't even think this video is about how I got chosen anymore, but about how you don't have any idea why you're put in certain situations in your life, or why what is happening is part of your preparation. Like, God puts you in places in your life to prepare you, and then He presents an opportunity for you, and that is up to you to walk through that door. It is up to you to decide whether or not you're going to follow that leading. And for me, that was just one example of how He was opening me up to what was coming, what was going to happen. And I still don't know what is going to happen. I still don't know why I met Sean at the airport that day many years ago, why I, lost weight and stayed on my journey, and why, that preparation, me physically preparing my body, and then the opportunity to audition, and then Him allowing all of that to come together was set in motion. But I do know that it was not about me being qualified before I went in. It was about Him saying that this was something that I had to do, and I did it. And so I just hope that this said something to you. I don't know where you are in your life and what you've been preparing for, or what opportunities have presented themselves to you in your life. But understand that it's all for a reason. It's all for a purpose. And while you may not know what that is, you have to have faith. you have to continue to prepare. You have to continue to do what it is that you are supposed to be doing in that season in your life, because you have no idea what is going to happen tomorrow or the next day or the next day that is going to put you in that place where you are supposed to be, to continue in your purpose and to be someone for someone else. So I'm going to close out because I didn't expect all that to happen, but that's what happened.